What is going on, guys? It is Pro Russian here again, and today we've been trying to play the new game mode Clash, although the internet's been kind of dodgy today, so it's been difficult to get a game, but I think we finally have one that's going to hold up. But we're going to be playing as Xingqiang for this one. I'm going to kind of explain that later, but I wanted to pick up Xingqiang not only because it was double XP this week on Smite, and also because we needed some tankiness and the setup ability that his CC grants. But Clash, the new game mode, and it's just been released 2 days ago at the time I'm making this video on the Xbox. Came out with our Chiron patch. It is still in beta, but this is the second version of the beta. Where PC had the first version, it was patched, and now we've got the patch version. We don't have the first version on Xbox. But Clash is supposed to be a hybrid between Arena and Conquest, and it is to an extent, but it's much closer to Arena, or I suppose the team fighting stage of Conquest, as you will always be fighting at least 2 enemies in a lane. The distance between your spawn, your fountain, and the lane means it only takes a couple of seconds for you to walk back. The distance between the lanes and the open middle means it takes a couple of seconds for someone to walk through the middle right across to your lane and gank you. So I played PC Clash before I came onto Xbox, because PC Clash came out during my time where I was away and I couldn't play the Xbox. So I've been playing PC Clash, so when I came onto Xbox I kind of knew what to expect, I knew how the game mode worked. So I picked up Xingqiang, and I was going last pick because I was kind of waiting to see what the rest of my team would pick up. And he's a solid choice for Clash because we needed the tankiness in this team, because Guardians always do well in Clash, and tankiness does in general. I mean, you're going to be hit by a lot in this game mode, whether it's the minions or the camps or the enemy gods, from all the angles while your team is fighting. So survivability in this game mode is absolutely key. This also allows you to go into slightly more awkward gank positions. You can run back through their tower because you can flank around behind the jungle. You can come behind them when they're pushed up with their wave, walk through the middle of their minion wave where people like ADCs and mages really can't get into the middle of this. Even assassins to an extent can't do this, and you could CC them with your Guardian CC or hit them hard as a warrior. A glass cannon team crashes and burns in this game mode really badly. Unless you are good and the other team is really shit, you are gonna go down hard. And I've seen this happen a load of times when I've wanted to play a glass cannon mage or someone like that, and we're all glass cannon mages. They will pick us off, CC us, and burst us down, and we can't do anything about it. We don't have any of the CC of our own, and we don't have any of the survivability of our own. So don't do that. Don't pick an all glass cannon team. In general, you want tankiness, as I said, but you want at least 2 tanky characters in your team, a warrior and a guardian. Personally, my ideal team comp would be 2 guardians, preferably Xingqiang and Athena, probably my best choices for this, with a warrior to put out the majority of the damage and be tanky, as well as an ADC and a mage. And the ADC and the mage will be your main damage dealers. They will pick up the damage buff, which I'll get onto. Your ADC will be your tower buster, because you're not going to have much time to hit the towers unless you dare side them or beating them back massively. They're going to be back to lane in a couple of seconds after regenning on their fountain. So you want to be hitting these towers hard and fast. Assassins can work well, but they kind of come across the same problems as they do in Arena. So you can't gank from the jungle, obviously. It's even harder to gank in Clash than it is in Arena. I mean, at least in Arena you can walk round the side walls and go behind their team if you really wanted to. But in the same principle as Arena, the assassin's job is to pick up the people that just haven't been killed, possibly tower dive. But they need to survive. They need to survive as well. They need to be part of the team fight. They need to be able to get in and get out and kill people. Which is why, personally, again, unfortunately, Thor is the top tier choice. He's obviously the best jungler S tier on the Xbox, without a doubt. He can get in with his ult, he can spin, he can CC, and then he can get out with his hammer, and he has the tankiness to survive with all and the damage. So Thor is your best choice assassin if you really wanted to go assassin, but it's easier to win the games without assassins. Good assassin played well, obviously, is always an asset to the team, but if I had to say, if I had to pick my team, 2 guardians, a warrior, an ADC, and a mage, possibly swap 2 ADCs, but ADC and a mage is the best choice just for the mix of damage. CC in this game is what makes or breaks the game, because the towers are so damn close in this game mode They're about 3 minion waves in length, apart from each other. Like, they're nothing. Conquest, and they're miles apart compared to this. And so you need to be pulling people out of position so they can't get under their tower, or you need to be tower diving, in which case you need the tankiness, or you need the CC, which is why you choose the Guardian, because they got both. So you want to, if you pull people out, if you get pulled out into the centre of the lane, or rooted in the centre of the lane, or taunted out with 5 people on the enemy team gonna burst you down, getting hard CC'd in the middle of the lane is pretty much a death trap unless you have a good escape, which is why I value the Xingqiang and Athena, because they both have huge hard CCs with Xingqiang's ult, which can take an entire team out of the team fight and throw them completely out of position in this game mode, and Athena because she has her taunt, and they both got the massive damage and they both got the survivability. Odin, who is also actually in this game as well, which I've just noticed, even now for some reason, but Odin also has a really good place in Clash, much better than I find in Conquest or even Arena for that matter, because he can easily zone off one lane. If you have an Odin who comes across to gank a lane, he can bird bomb in and drop the ring of spears, and that will separate out their glass cannons from the rest of their team and effectively trap half of their team in this huge CC. And with 5 people, you can easily burst them down before even level 1 Odin Ring of Spears runs out, or CC them again and get them completely trapped out of lane. And also, being spawned on level 3 means you are level 3, and it's only 2 more levels until your ult comes up, which means after about a minute you can have your Odin ultimate up and ready to use. A lot of people are picking up mages and getting trapped in this, which is why I find Odin actually a really, really valuable choice in Clash. But anyway, in terms of strategy, this game, you start by obviously spawning, buying your items, and running straight to the mid camp, the mid damage camp, and fighting over that. I see a lot of people doing the XP camps in your jungle and the mana camps at the start, but please don't bother. It means you'll lose some minion farm, it means you'll lose the damage camp, which is important at the start of the game, and it means you'll lose the fight mid, because half your team will know what they're doing and go to the mid camp to fight, half will be doing the camps at the back, and it's just not worth it. In all honesty, the camps, aside from the damage camp and the fight in the mid, are just pointless, so just don't bother doing the camps. You don't gain any meaningful advantage from them. I mean, the XP is so little, as the towers are so close and minion waves and there's so much fighting going on. You can't gain any meaningful advantage with the XP taken from a camp. You get 8 gold per second, so the gold advantage is nothing, and the mana buff is not worth the damage buff, and all in all, the fact that you can go back immediately to the fountain and walk back to lane within 3 seconds kind of means that you're never going to be running out of mana, and I suppose the mana buff gives you a tiny little short cooldown, but all in all it's just not worth it. You might as well be better off using your damage to hurt the enemy team. The same thing kind of goes for the Fire Giant and Gold Fury. 8 gold per second kind of means that in 1 minute you'll have a Gold Fury's worth of gold. So, or almost a Gold Fury's worth of gold in 1 minute. They take too long, and in a game mode where the enemy's always around the middle and always literally the other side of the wall from you, you're gonna have a team fight there. They can walk back within 3 seconds from their spawn back to lane. In Conquest, obviously, you never take the Gold Fury when the entire team's up, because you don't know where they are and stuff, and you don't want to get caught out team fighting with the Gold Fury. Same principle in Clash, which is why these are kind of pointless additions, and all in all, you shouldn't be going for either of these. Unless you've killed their entire team, you may have decided them. You may consider going for the Fire Giant, but to be honest, in Clash, it's more valuable just to push the towers and to push the Phoenixes and to keep them back. If you do a Fire Giant, it'll take a lot of your time. The Clash spawns aren't that long, even late game. Your games will be lasting 20 minutes, half an hour maximum. The spawns won't get to be that long, and they'll be back to the Fire Giant in 3 seconds. So it's not going to take long at all. If you want to beta team fight the Fire Giant or the Gold Fury, that's probably the best thing that they're for, but in all honesty, just don't bother taking either of the Fire Giant or the Gold Fury. Just push the towers and just win the game. So your build is kind of the same as Conquest. It's roughly the same as Arena as well. You know, you buy yourself a starter item. It's always good. Maybe some potions for the early sustain, but the fact that your fountain's kind of close means it's kind of rendered useless. You may want to buy some potions if you want to stay in longer and out-sustain them. Getting back to lane is not a problem. The only item that is really pointless is bombers, of course, because you won't be in the jungle, you won't be doing camps, and it has no value whatsoever. But personally, I do find that I prefer getting Watchers over the Mark of the Vanguard if I'm playing Guardian, because due to the amount of XP you get in the mid with the constant team fights and the minions and all that stuff, the Mark of the Vanguard is used for in Conquest when you won't be farming as much as your ADC and you need them to get the majority of the farm, but you also need to get some sort of farm yourself. You use Mark of the Vanguard to get your XP up, but you don't need to get your XP up in Clash because you should be getting so much anyway. And Watchers gives you more tankiness, gives you better stats anyway, so I preferably go with Watchers in that. In terms of wards, there's no point, really, there's little point in warding at all. In Clash, you can't ward their jungle because it's behind their towers, and wards aren't exactly a drain on your gold because you're getting 8 gold per second, so you're going to have a lot of wards if you really want to. The only place I would be warding if you really want to ward is ward the Fire Giant and the Gold Fury. Ward the entrances from those little paths to the lane because people like to hide in there. You can't see into there from the lane, so you can't see them when they're hiding there. They'll wait for you to walk halfway down the lane, they'll come out and they'll CC you, and a competent team can use that and burst you down. So if you don't want to be picked off there, put a ward there, but most people don't do anything like that and spend their time kind of hanging around in lane. But a clever team might send out some hard CC person, maybe Thor wall you off from back there and pick you off from there, because snowballing kind of gets out of hand in Clash. It can get out of hand quite easily. If you get 2 or 3 kills above the rest of the people in the game, you can push you up fast, and the gold per second means that you're going to be getting 8 gold a second and you're getting all your items online early. So if an enemy picks up the damage buff in the center, all the more reason to do the damage buff in the center, and they're a hard-hitting mage like Goobis or an ADC, for example, they want to be immediately killed or avoided, because spawning at level 3 means that you're going to have 3 ability points. So that's either 3 of your damaging abilities up or 2 points into one of your other abilities, and they can hit you really, really hard. So that's pretty much how to play Clash. I mean, it's a chilled out game mode, and that's all you can really do. It kind of turns out to be a slapfest, kind of like Arena. I mean, you could ignore everything I said in this video and still kind of win. So there is an element of strategy, but it is more of a slapfest. It's more like an Arena than a Conquest game. No matter how hard they try to push that it is some sort of hybrid of both, it is effectively Arena with Phoenixes and towers. But hopefully you enjoyed the video and kind of understand more about Clash. Hopefully I'll be putting out some guides soon on other Xbox things, like how to play Medusa, how to use the other hunters, how to have Chiron, how to work Chiron on the Xbox now that we've got him out as balanced Chiron, rather than on the PC when he first came out where he was pretty damn good. We've now got balanced Chiron where he can be used in leagues now. I'll put out some more good guides as well, but I hope you enjoyed the video and you'll give it a like, rating and subscribe, and I will see you next time.